So in this video, we're going to go over creating door and window schedules. So to create a door and window schedule, you can go up to your View tab, and then kind of towards the middle on the right is Schedules. So you'll pick Schedules, and then Schedule Quantities. So it'll bring up this window where you can scroll down and pick Windows, and leave all these checked. It'll name it automatically window schedule, and you can hit OK. So what we'll want to do is to add a bunch of categories, because right now there's nothing in this schedule, and basically all of the families will have parameters that we can add to our schedule. So I will want to add a type mark similar to the walls that we did. We'll assign a type mark, so that'll be the first indicator, so we can find the windows that we're looking for based on type mark. And then we'll want width. So you select the element you want, and then click this green arrow to add that parameter. And then we'll want height. And I think that'll be all for now. Oh, we want level. Let's not add level because we just have, it's just a small house. You would usually add a level for bigger buildings, obviously. But these windows are going to be used at multiple levels on mine, so I think that'll be good for now. And so the next tab up top is filter. You can filter out different things based on the parameter. So if you wanted certain windows not to show up, you could add a parameter for the width or the height or the type mark. Sorting and grouping, you want to select by type mark, and that should be fine. Formatting, you can change some of the formatting of the windows, the alignment, and you can actually have it highlight. So if you wanted to highlight all the windows that are greater than a certain amount or width, you could highlight or equal a type mark, whatever. You can add some different conditional formatting there, similar to like Excel. And then the last one is the appearance. So I typically, you can go through all of these. I like the grid lines. I don't like to have a blank row before the data, so I uncheck that. We can have the title show up on the sheet, and we can have our header show up. We hit OK. And it's going to create a schedule for us. Another thing that we'll do is, once it does this, this is just a view that we can now place on the sheet. That will show up underneath Legends, and there'll be Schedule and Window Schedules right there. To edit that, because I don't want it to show all of the windows. We don't need to know that there's 4 of these 16. They're all the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into sorting and grouping, and we'll uncheck itemize every instance, hit OK, and now we'll only show the individual windows. So once we've done that, we can go up to Sheet, Architectural D, hit OK. It's going to name it 501, which is going to put it right after our wall type sheet. We can name it Door and Window Schedule. We don't have a lot of doors and windows, so we're just going to add it to one sheet. Schedule. And we can grab this window schedule and drag it onto the sheet. And so that tells us all of our doors and windows. Pretty easy. The next thing we'll want to do is actually go and then tag our doors and windows. So we can go up to Annotate, pick Tag by Category, and then we can add a tag here for the windows. And let's do the same thing we did for our wall tag. We'll do a little bit different though. So I'm going to select the wall tag, and we're going to edit the family. I'm going to do a little bit different this time. There's another way we can mask this text so that it will override anything that it's on top of. We're going to use a masking region. So under create masking region, we can create basically like a text or like a mask or a wipeout. If you're familiar with AutoCAD, around this text bubble so that we can the text will stand out. So I'm going to hit the pick lines, and I'm going to hover over the line. I'm going to hit tab once. I'm going to pick all the lines. I'm also going to pick this one because for some reason it didn't include it. Hit OK. You can see nothing happened. I'm going to load and close. And I do want to save the changes to this wall tag or window tag. I'm going to save it in the same spot that I saved my other wall tag. And yes, I want to overwrite. And then now our tags are showing up over everything. So one thing I'm going to do though, actually, before I go back, is I'm going to go to annotate. I'm going to tag by category. I'm going to uncheck the leader because I don't want a leader line like we did on the walls. I just want it to be blank, and then I want to be able to move it to where I want it, so it's easily visible. And so we can just go around here and tag all these windows. The other thing too is they already had tags built in, and so you could rename those tags if you wanted to something more unique, maybe 1, 2, 3, and 4. It doesn't particularly matter, but oops, I don't want to tag that. I want to tag this window, and I'm just going to move them to the inside just so they're easier to see. But that's not necessary. While we're at it, let's tag the doors because we'll do the same thing to the doors. And let's tag these as well, these little side lights. They're considered doors. They're part of a door family, so that they're showing up with door tags. And let's modify this tag as well. So let's go edit family, select the tag, hit edit family, and now we can add a masking region. Pick line, hover over the line, hit tab once, and then pick. Hit the green check, load and close. Yes, we want to save the door tag. Now in other projects, we could browse out and load in that door tag, so we wouldn't have to do this multiple times. I'm going to do TG to tag. You go to annotate. If you hover over tag by category, you see TG is, I think, the default. And so we can go through and tag all of our doors so that all of our doors have tags as well. We can refer back to them to the schedule. Let's see. I think I got all the doors. All the windows. All right. Starting to look like a floor plan. Now we can go back to our View tab, go to Schedules, Schedule Quantities, and then you can just click into here and then press D, and it will go down to the first D item category that you can use. I'm going to select Doors, hit OK. I'm going to first add the type mark, the width, and the height. There's a lot of other information we could add to these, and we may add later, but for now we're just going to get these basic elements added. Then hit OK when you're done. And actually, before you hit OK, if you already hit OK, you can go back in here. Let's just hit OK, and I'll show you how to get back in. It brings up this. We will, in the Properties palette, you can go to your sorting and grouping. We'll uncheck Itemize Every Instance. Formatting, we'll leave that alone. Uncheck blank row before data. Hit OK. And the last thing we'll need to do is see how everything disappeared, because we don't have a sorting or grouping. So right now, I unchecked itemize every instance, so it's now, it doesn't have any parameters to sort it by. Before it was itemizing everything, so it showed every single door. So now let's just give it a type mark to sort by, and it will then populate all the different doors. So we can close that. We can go to our project browser, grab our door schedule now, and drag it onto the sheet. And so now we have our door and window schedule on a sheet. And we can just place them anywhere for right now. The nice thing about schedules is that we can open a schedule over here, and let's rename our doors. So door 1, we can actually rename the door from the schedule. So we can call this door 001, and it's just going to tell us this will apply to all of the elements, and we'll hit OK. And you'll see the tag should change. It did not. So let's go to the properties, go edit type. And so the door tag is pulling the information from the type mark. Another thing, you can select here and it will select the door. So when we select here, it should select the door in the view. And it looks like it's selecting this door 19. Let's edit that type. And so now we have to figure what is the door type mark. It looks like the door is not pulling, the door tag is not pulling the type mark. So it's actually just pulling the mark. So what we can do then is go over here to our schedule, edit fields, add the mark, and we can move that up. And I'm going to remove type mark. Then we'll have to go back to sorting and grouping, group by mark, hit OK, and now we've got all of our marks. The thing about that is that if I have this, so it looks like it's giving, so this door tag is tagging the mark, which is an instance parameter. So this mark can be different on each instance. So if I were to right click and select all visible in view, I'm only going to get one. But this side light is, there's two of them, so I'm going to select all instances visible in view. And I've got two of these, and I want them to be the same mark because I don't want them to be different every time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this tag to the type mark, and I'll show you how to do that. Select the tag, and then we'll edit family. So when it opens up the family, we get that pill shape that we did the little masking region. I'm going to edit this label. I'm not going to edit type. I'm going to edit label. Because what this does is it pulls parameters from the project to show up when you tag. So I'm going to hit the red arrow to remove that mark. And I'm going to add type mark instead. And hit OK. I'm going to load and close. and I do want to save because I want that one that I've saved out to be the same. Because that one I'll import again so I don't have to do this again. Now, why does it say that? I think I must have accidentally not checked type mark. So we're going to edit that family. Oh, I made type name instead of type mark. So we'll go back into that family, edit the label, and not type name, type mark. I'll make sure this time it says type mark. And then I'll load in the project. Yes, save. Yes, replace the existing. Overwrite the existing. And now you can see that one that I changed to be 001. So I'm going to go back into my schedule. I'm going to edit the fields again, and I can remove mark. And I'm going to put type mark back in. So I have type mark width, height. I'm going to check my sorting and grouping because I removed that parameter and put another one back in. I've got to change it back to type mark. And then I can hit OK. And now I can go through and rename all my doors. I'm actually going to change I'm going to change this type mark to 1. And yes, I want it to apply to all of them. I'm going to change this door 11. I'm going to make that 1. I'm going to start with my exterior door. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to make 15 001.1 and yes, so that those are the same and they kind of go with each other. I'm going to look for other exterior doors. So it looks like this door 16. I'm going to name it 002. And yes. And then this other exterior door, I'm going to call it 003. Oops. And I do want to change all of them. And 20. That is a garage door, so I'm going to change that to 004. And yes. I actually might want to add a exterior garage door here. And I do want those to open out. So, all right. And so now let's do something else here. So I want to make this the exterior door schedule. I'm going to call this exterior door schedule. Then I'm going to go over to my filter. I'm going to filter by type mark. And I'm going to change this filter to begins with 00. Hit OK. And now we'll only show the doors that begin with 00. So if I close this, close my window schedule. So now I've got my exterior door schedule. And now it only shows the doors that have the 00 beginning indicator. There's several ways you could do that. I could have called them E01 to differentiate, but I just used the longer naming for the doors, the exterior doors. So I'm going to go over here to my project browser. I'm going to right click and I'm going to duplicate. And so I get this schedule again. I'm going to change it to be interior doors. Delete the copy one. I'm going to go to properties, go back to the filter, and then I'm going to do begins with, let's see. Right now I'm not going to have a filter so we can kind of see how I want to name my interior doors. I think for interior doors, I'm going to start 1 would just be 01. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to name these MB1 for master bedroom 1. Will that affect? I think I put a bigger door. And this door 5. I think I'm using 5 in a lot more places. So maybe the MB, we'll just call this, instead of MB, we'll just call it, let's see. Trying to think of a different naming convention other than the numerical one. So I think we can, let's just do 0. It doesn't matter. We'll just call it 01. We'll call this other door 5. 02. Yes. We'll call this pocket door 03. Still not crazy about that nomenclature. Let's, instead of doing that, I'm going to call this 01, I'm going to call it INT-1. And 2 will be INT-2. And 03 will be INT-3. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do exterior dash 1. I'm going to do exterior dash 1.1. Exterior dash 1.1. Yes. Exterior dash 1 or 2. Exterior dash 3. And the garage will be exterior dash 5 or 4, sorry. Exterior dash 4. And so let's go make this tag slightly larger. I'm going to edit this family, select the tag, edit family. I'm going to go to the visibility graphics to see if there's anything. Looks like they got reference planes. It looks like they do have some parameters. So what I did is I went to the visibility graphics annotation category and I turned everything on to see if they've got anything that controls this bubble size. And it doesn't look like they do. There's nothing that controls how wide this bubble is, other than they've got some dimensions in here showing where they've placed it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this bubble. And I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it 1/8 of an inch. Oh, goodness. I'm going to move it this other direction, 1/8 of an inch also. Not sure what these things are in my way. I'm going to grab our masking regions that we placed. I'm going to double click or hit edit sketch to go in. And move these out of the way again. And what I'm going to do too is I'm actually going to delete it. Delete this masking region. And I'm going to go back to create. Oops, I don't need to go to create because I'm already in the creation. I'm going to pick line. And then before I pick, I'm going to hit this lock button. What that'll do is once I hover over tab, and then now I'm going to pick, it's going to lock the masking region to the pill that we just drawn. So if I were to change one of these, it should change the masking region as well. So we don't have to do it twice anymore. So now I'm going to load and close. I'm going to save changes. I'm going to overwrite the one that we've already saved. Override existing. And yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Text isn't so squished in there anymore. We can easily see our door pills. Alrighty. So now we'll have to fix our schedule, because if we go back to our door types, you can see there's nothing there anymore. And that's because we had the filter on it. So if we go back to our exterior door schedule, we're going to change in the properties. We'll go to the filter, and change begins with 00 to EXT. Hit OK. And then now we have our exterior doors. And we can do the same thing with our interior doors. We will double click on that to open it. And then we will sort by, or filter by type mark. Begins with INT. And now we're only seeing our interior doors. We can drag this schedule on here. If you notice, we have some other doors that were not showing up. And oh yes, we've got this door opening that we placed. That's just an opening. I'm going to call it, oh, and here's another thing. So you can either select the door, edit type, and change the type mark. You can do it in the schedule, or if you've placed a tag, you can select the tag and then select the text of the tag and change it this way now. So I'm going to call it INT4, and yes. And it doesn't have any height and width information. I'm going to go look and see why. Now, because it just has a rough opening height and width, so I'm going to give it a 3'6", 3'6", and 7 foot. So that it actually show up on the schedule as having a height and width. Height and width. So what else here? So looking at that schedule, it seemed like there was another one on there. I'm going to create another door window, or let's just open this interior door schedule. I'm going to filter. I'm just going to take that off. And so we've got this 4 that I don't see accounted for anywhere. I don't see it on the floor plans. So I'm going to drag this schedule over to the left. And I'm going to open up my 3D view. And I'm going to pick 4. And I'm going to look for that door. Oh, here's a door right here. I didn't even see that one. So let's call that INT5. So we'll go to our annotate, tag by category, select the door, hit escape. We can select just the door tag, and then we'll call it INT-5. Yep. And so the next thing I'll do is I'm going to go and go back into this interior door schedule, edit the filter, turn the type mark back on, go begins with INT, and hit enter, and now it's back to just showing us the interior doors. And so the next thing we'd want to do now is to start making our door types on here, so that we would show what the doors actually look like, what the windows look like, dimension them, show where they're located from the finished floor. And we'll do that in another video. So let me know if you have any questions, but that's how you create these kind of door and window schedules. Adjust the type mark. Oh, let's do the window schedule here too. So hopefully you didn't turn off the video, but we can do the same thing with the window schedule. Let's see. I'm going to open the window schedule. And actually, you don't even have to open it. I can... Oh, yes, I do. Because I'm going to change the windows numbers. So we've got EXT. So, and we can just use let's see, I want 34 to be 01. Yeesh. I always like to work clockwise around. Looks like I got a lot of 01s. 36 can be 02. And really, you can name the doors and windows and wall types whatever numbers you want, as long as it makes sense and it's clear and you can easily differentiate. So they've got different tags. That helps. But you probably wouldn't want to have a number associated with the wall tags it could get confusing. So it's good to have different kind of naming conventions for the things that you're tagging in the same view, so that you're not getting confused. If that makes sense. So 16, I'm going to call 3. Yeesh. And this 35 here is probably, I think I used a different window. Yep, this is 35. So see here, I can select this schedule, and you can see it highlighted this window. And so we'll call this bad boy 04. Alrighty. So that's it. So you can see I've got EXT1s, INTs, and then the numbers are 0. And then when we did the wall types before, they're A, B, and C, so that they're easily differentiated. So next time we will go ahead and show you how to put the windows on the sheet and get those all noted up. All right, so until next time.